prime time we had drama, close racing and controversy with Rocco Barone and Mike van Loosenhoed coming together at Stone Corner. The man who took advantage and won the race was Freak Shothorst, who excelled around Silverstone. Tonight we travel halfway around the world to Japan and the iconic Suzuka International Racecourse. It's iRacing Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. It's Friday night prime time here on Racespot TV, streaming live on iRacing Live, and we'll be right back after these short messages. Welcome back to Friday Prime Time here on Racespot TV, streaming on iRacing Live. It's week 9 of the iRacing Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, and this week we're running around the 3.6 mile Suzuka International Racecourse, a track synonymous with historic racing motorsport moments. Who can forget Senna versus Prost, Damon Hill winning the title in 1996, Mika Hakkinen winning the title in 98 and 99, and Sebastian Vettel in 2011. It's a technical track where you need to balance top speed with grip through the corners, and don't forget that Japanese asphalt. I'm Paul Smith, alongside me as always is Randy Chenolf, and of course we have Hugo Lewis on the cameras. And before we get on with this race, don't forget that tomorrow it's round 7 of the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. Join Will Vincent, Rachel Whiteford and Johnny Simon on Racespot TV and iRacing Live from 1:30 in the afternoon. And also on Sunday, it's the first round of a brand new endurance series as we have the iRacing VLN Endurance Championship from the historic Nürburgring Nordschleife. It's live here on Racespot TV and iRacing Live from 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. And Randy, we're here in Suzuka. It is one of the favourite tracks of all the drivers. I've certainly enjoyed racing around here, and it's a real challenge to get a good lap round here.
Yeah, Suzuka is definitely it's a fan favorite, it's a driver favorite, and it can be somewhat frustrating with that slick asphalt, the long straightaways and the fast corners. You really have to balance the downforce with getting the car trimmed down for that long straightaways, but pretty much always generates good racing, and it's always fun to watch fast race cars go around this circuit.
You've got the famous Esses section. It's always a challenge through there, and Dunlop before you head into the Degners. And then the second half of the lap, it's a pretty different type of circuit. It's a circuit of two halves, certainly. That's the more technical part of the track is the first part. But then when you get through to places like Spoon Curve, on the high speed, full flat out 130R, certainly a big challenge.
Oh, it certainly is. The first half of the track, there's a lot of mechanical grip that's required, specifically through the Degners and the hairpin. Really, the Degners, you go through there very, very quick. You want to take as much of a bite of the curb as you can. But if you get too much, suddenly that car can get bouncy, and you're suddenly fighting for rear traction.
Well, we're currently in qualifying at the moment, and last week's winner, Freak Shothorst, is currently in provisional pole position with Rocco Barone, just 1/10 behind in second, with Lucas Gotch in third place. So pretty close times here. I mean, we've got a second covering the top 15 here. So quite a competitive field. Just a 21 car field today for you, but it should be exciting racing nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised to see people that close in qualifying. This is such a favorite that people always love driving here. It's actually pretty hot here today in Japan, so that's going to make things very, very slippery for these drivers. But they're doing a good job nonetheless to find traction and keep the times close.
I think the drivers will be thankful for the warm weather after last Friday when we had drivers just losing control all the way. Martin van Loozenhoorn is coming across the line at the moment. He's going to set another lap time. He does improve 57.5, so that puts him 6th for the time being. I'm just having a look. Shotos is not got enough of that time, and Peter Berriman set a fastest lap of 57.0. Fantastic work from him. Lucas Goch moving up to 3rd place there. So Rocco Baron just going to come across the line now. 57.2. He does improve, but only just by a couple of hundredths of a second, so not able to improve positions. I'm just having a look to see if we've got any more drivers on a lap. We've got Mark Usher is currently on a lap. He's just gone under through the Degners under the track towards the hairpin. David Williams has completed his 2 laps. Yeah, Mark Usher is the only one still to set a second lap time, and he was a bit loose coming out the hairpin.
Yeah, that's one of those places you're always fighting for rear grip here at Suzuka, is that hairpin that brings you on this long, slow right-hand bend. It's flat out, but it brings you into spoon, which is of course iconic. And but just looking at qualifying, Martin van Loozenhoorn a little bit further down the order than I think we've seen him all season.
Yeah, certainly. We'll get onto the starting grid shortly. We'll just wait for Mark Usher to complete this lap because he's nearly at the end of the lap and he's heading towards 130R. In this car, it's very, very easy to go flat out through there with the downforce that you have there. Just scrubs off a little bit of speed around there, and you get it over to the left-hand side here for the Casio Triangle. Very important to get your line right through here, taking the curbs as well. You've got to have a car that's compliant on the bumps. Out of spoon he goes now. Down towards the timing line for the lap time. Will he improve? No, he won't. So that will be all of our drivers to set a lap time. And, well, we should be able to go through your grid with you right now. So on pole position, the Apex Racing driver, Peter Berriman, with a 1:57.0 lap time. Frick Shotos, the race winner from last week, he is on the front row with him. Lucas Goch in 3rd with Rocco Baron, last week's pole sitter in 4th. Justin Brunner 5th with Lionel Game in 6th. Mike van Loozenhoorn 7th place. He won't be happy with that for today with Norbert Sulzer in 8th. Simon Povey 9th with Jukka Savalainen in 10th. Philippe Leibert and Matt Perez 11th, 12th. Klaus Ellenbrand and Mark Usher 13th, 14th. Thomas Schmidt and David Williams the next row with Nick Thiessen and Joel Guez. John Allett, Sergio Macias and Jürgen Frank at the rear of your grid. And well, it's a tough track to overtake at here, Drandy. There are a few overtaking spots, certainly into the Degners and also certainly into the hairpin and into the Casio Triangle. They're really the main ones, but into turn 1 as well you can make the moves.
Yeah, I think turn 1 is probably undoubtedly the best, but you know, the Degners, you can try to make something happen if you're brave. Into the hairpin, you can throw it up the inside. You know, even into spoon, if you're, you know, getting to the end of the race and are getting desperate, you can certainly throw it up the left-hand side as you go into that first part of spoon curve. But yeah, Suzuka, very, very difficult to get around other cars. So hopefully we get ourselves some nice, good close action here for 15 laps.
We're just waiting for the last couple of drivers, and as you say, very hot conditions. Track temperature 113 degrees Fahrenheit, so very hot conditions for the drivers to contend with, so maybe looking after the tyres. And don't forget, you've got live timing on racespot.tv/timing. You can check that out there. But we're all set here for 15 laps around this Suzuka Grand Prix circuit, just ready now for the cars to grid up here. The red lights will be coming on now, and this Friday Night Primetime, week 9 of Friday Night Primetime is ready to go. The green light is on, and away they go. And it's a good start from Pete Berriman, but he's going to have to block off Frick Shotos straight away. Lucas Goch in 3rd place, Rocco Baron 4th as they head into turn 1. This very fast right-hander, but it's very easy to lose control through here, and hopefully everybody can make it through. It does look like everybody is making it through. So now into the S's, cars side by side, further down the order. Certainly Philip Leibert is involved in there, along with a few others. Leibert just taking it sideways, and there's cars going off and off into the barriers. That's Leibert, and also
Perez, I believe.
Perez,
Mark Perez.
Matt Perez out the race.
Yeah, they're just going through the S's where just slowly, you know, that's a part of the track where it really tightens up, and Philippe Lebert caught the grass, kicked the car loose. He slid over to the right, and he just barely got into Marc Perez. They tangled, and off into the wall they went. That was just that was just an unfortunate racing incident. Not really anyone's real fault, just a slight mistake from Lebert, and that pretty much puts them both out of it.
Pete Berryman at the front though, 0.4 of a second ahead of Freak Shotos. Lucas Gutsch in third place though. He is right up behind the gearbox, just looking out to the left there, through 200R into Spoon Curve once for the first time. 15 laps, remember, of this track. It is a long track here, but certainly an exciting and rewarding one as well. Pete Berryman just running a little bit wide out of Spoon there. Certainly won't help his speed down the straight, and he's certainly getting caught up in the draft now as they head towards 130R. Is Freak Shotos going to go side by side? No, he isn't, not for the time being. He's maybe setting him up for the Casio Triangle. Here we go into the Casio Triangle, side by side. This is for the lead. Pete Berryman though, inside line, he holds on to that for the time being, as everyone just seems to go through. Oh, Simon Povey and Lionel Game, they have come together. So they have had an instant in the Casio Triangle. It was Povey who was trying to go past and just contact. Unfortunately, that's affected both of their races.
Yeah, it really has, and unfortunately for Lionel, he's actually caught a cone under that car, so he's going to be losing even more time. He might even think he has damage. He really just needs to get that out from under the car. But looking back up front, Pete Berryman has gotten passed by Freak Shotos here.
Yeah, fantastic work from Pete, from Freak Shotos. It was into turn one, around the outside. That is a fantastic move to be able to hold that round the outside of 1 and 2. And, well, certainly made it count. So Pete Berryman down to second place. Lucas Gotch in third place, with Rocco Barone all over the back of him now in fourth place. And this queue just, we have got a queue of cars. And, Rocco Barone seems to get a good exit out of Degner too, looking on the back of Lucas Gotch towards the hairpin. Maybe look down the inside there. No, they're going to stay behind for the time being. Justin Brunner certainly having a good race so far. He's in fifth place. He's going well. He started in fifth and he's keeping it going there, but he's keeping on to the back of these guys for the time being. And well, once again, these Formula Renault showing great work, as Sergio Macias was going side by side there with Norbert Sulzer, and Sulzer has made it past him through the hairpin.
Excellent work there by Solder to get by there, but yeah, looking back out front, we got ourselves this 5-car queue, and like you said, this is what we've seen all season. If we get guys that are close in pace, they can run very, very close to each other. We have Bobbin and Weaving him back as Justin Brunner is trying to hold off Martin van Leuzenhoort into 130R. Leuzenhoort gets the inside, he's going to get that pass done. Then looking up into the Casio Triangle, no one's really close enough to make a move. They're going to say line astern.
Rocco Barone was very wide through 130R though there, so maybe just losing a little bit of speed through there. But Matt van Leuzenhoort, great work from him to go down the inside. He was all over the curbs as well, so that would have unsettled the car through there. But plenty of downforce going on in that car. Matt Perez is back out, by the way.
Oh yeah, Marc Perez is out, and he actually came out right next to the leaders as Peter Berryman's trying to make a move on the outside here of on Freak Shotos. That obviously went the other way last time by, but Freak's able to hold off. But that was just a very, very, very close moment as Freak was trying to run right next to the pit wall to have that inside line, and he almost caught Perez.
Yeah, these guys really trying the hardest to make their way forward in this field. And well, Shorthorst is in the lead. He's got that winning feeling from last week, and he certainly doesn't want to let it go of it, that's for sure. As well, this lead battle. Oh, Shorthorst just running wide over the curbs there, so easy to do. And well, again, running wide out of Degner too. He's really pushing hard, Randy, and maybe a little bit too hard earlier on, because well, Pete Berryman, he just seems to be closing up onto the back of him.
Yeah, I mean, but at this point, you really do got to be pushing hard, because you got to figure if Freak stops pushing, there's 5 cars all right behind him that'll just gladly pounce and get right on by. So he has to drive hard. And the Degner is one of those places where you either have to be safe or you really have to go for it. And if you really go for it, you can find yourself a good amount of time. But it always looks scary when you start pushing hard through that section of the track.
All out of 130R again, and the car's just coming up in the queue. They're looking to use that draft, which Freak Shotos is currently cutting the hole in the air, and that's allowing this whole queue of cars to keep up with them, keep on to the back of him. Here comes Pete Berryman now, round 130R. He's going to look to the outside into the Casio chicane, Oh, trying to make that work, but runs wide, and that's going to allow Lucas Gotch to have a go out of the chicane. And here comes Rocco Barone around the outside now of the final turn, but not able to make it count, so has to slot in behind Gotch once again. But these three are battling away because of that mistake by Pete Berriman. Berriman going defensive, going into turn one. They're going three wide here into turn one, then contact, massive contact here. Pete Berriman, Lucas Gotch, Rocco Barone into the wall for the second week in a row. Rocco Barone involved in an instant down into a fast corner.
Yeah, that's just, you know, I don't want to say that was a little immature, a little silly there, but, you know, three wide in a turn one on lap 4 of the race, that's not anywhere near advisable here at Suzuka. And, you know, they narrowed up, or turn one narrows it up like everyone know it does, and they ran themselves out of room. Someone got in anyone, and that's 3 cars out of the race.
Well, you say out the race. Pete Berriman is still in second place. Lucas Gotch is back up and running in 7th place. Rocco Barone down in 14th place. He's got damage on the front of that car as well, and he's really struggling here. In fact, he's going to have to pit for repairs as 2 more cars go past him. And well, that was Lionel Gamay and Thomas Schmidt going past, and he's also got Jürgen Frank catch up to him. So Barone really unlucky, 2 weeks in a row to be involved in an incident there.
Yeah, certainly is, but, you know, that was just, you know, last week was definitely, I think, unfortunate by Rocco. This week, I think Rocco was a little bit on the silly side, putting himself on the outside in a turn one like that, making it 3 wide, but yeah, definitely unfortunate for all involved.
So, there we go then. So, it's got 12 laps remaining. Frick Shorthorst is trying to make a break for it. It just seems to be. Last week, there was the incident with Martin van Loosnord and Rocco Barone into Stowe Corner, and Frick Shorthorst was able to pull away. This week, it was Pete Berriman, Martin van Loosnord's teammate, involved there with Lucas Gotch and Rocco Barone. And now, van Loosnord is battling with his teammate Berriman, once again, running wide in the chicane. And Justin Brunner now onto the back of him, but Martin van Loosnord makes it through, and I don't know if it looks right, but Pete Berriman looks to have a little bit of front wing damage as well.
Yeah, that's not surprising after that contact. He's actually really, really slow down this front straightaway. He's several miles an hour off the cars in front, although that might be just because he got loose coming off the back, but he does have a bit of damage on that front wing. Hopefully it's not affecting him too much here, although he does run wide a little bit in the dirty air going through turn 2, so I definitely think he has a bit of aerodynamic push in that car now. So
we've got a queue of cars here further back. Klaus Ellenbrand and Nick Thiessen, they're in the middle of that. There's Mark Usher ahead with Lucas Gotch, who's made it past, so he's already made 1 place back as Gotch. With Nick Thiessen, like I say, there with Ellenbrand, Joel Guez, also John Allett, and Sergio Macas as well involved just off the back of them. So a really big queue of cars here at the moment. This is all battling over that 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th place. A lot of cars here in a short space of time.
We're seeing a lot of queues here this week, and this is great. We're seeing, you know, 7th through, what did you say, it was 12th, 13th, I think? Yeah, 7th to 12th here, all basically nose-cone to gearbox, rather, excuse me. And, you know, we saw that for the opening few laps here in the top 5 as well before that unfortunate incident. So this Formula Renault creating some great racing here at Suzuka. Yeah, it certainly is good to drive around here, and these drivers making the most of it. They're here live on Racespot Friday prime time on Racespot TV and iRacing live as well. We're coming through 130R and the exit there along the straight now as they head, not 130R, Spoon even, as they head towards 130R. I'll get the corners right all sometime as well. Klaus Ellenbrand catching up to the back of Mark Usher, deciding to just back out of it a little bit, get through 130R. They go, maybe setting up Usher for the chicane. We've got a car running wide there at the back of this queue. That was Sulza and John Allett as well, losing the side by side there as well, but Ellenbrand really putting the pressure on Mark Usher at the moment, and that's dropping them off the back of Lucas Gotch at the moment as well. They're going to go 2 wide, possibly 3 wide. Oh, we saw what happened the last time they went 3 wide. Down into there, it's pinching once again, but this time able to hold it through, and Ellenbrand round the outside of Usher makes that move stick. Fantastic work. We saw it earlier with Frick Shorthorst, and well, Thiessen is trying to follow Ellenbrand through, but Ellenbrand head of that queue in 7th place. Mark Usher slotting in 8th, but Usher just seems to be struggling a little bit for pace, and now he's under intense pressure from Nick Thiessen. Yeah, that was very, very smart driving there by Nick to not force that issue 3 wide going into turn 1. And a fantastic move by Klaus to get himself by Usher. That's one of the great things of the turn 1 and 2 complex here at Suzuka. Although the inside is definitely preferred, you can carry enough momentum around that outside that you can make passes stick. And we've seen a pass happen for the lead. And now we just saw some ads. Actually, we got a car off in the wall. I believe that's Joe Guez. Joe Guez spun coming through Degner 2. He caught that curb on the outside that you were talking about, that we've been talking about all race long. Got the curb. That right rear just lost all, the right rear lost all the traction, drove itself straight into the wall.
Yeah, it certainly did. It just skated along the curb there. Of course, these single seaters, they run very low to the ground, and if you ride over the curb, then it will just act like a toboggan and just send you into the scene of the accident. That's certainly what happened there. Freak Shotos has got a 3.6 second lead over Martin van Loosnord at the moment, so he's trying to make a break for it. The last lap, he was quicker by 0.5 of a second over Martin van Loosnord, but of course Loosnord was making an overtake on that lap. Justin Brunner behind Loosnord though. He's on the 0.7 of a second behind, so he's pushing on for that one. Nick Thiessen, he's still battling away. He's still got Mark Usher ahead of him. Norbert Sulzer now ahead of John Allett as well. Well, we're going through down towards the first corner once again. Nick Thiessen trying to use the slipstream, trying to use the draft here as they head down towards turn 1. He looks to have a faster car than Mark Usher. He's going to go side by side into turn 1. Will they will be able to get through there? Oh, Thiessen just running a little bit wide over the curb there. Keeping the room though, giving the room, racing room, fantastic work. And once again, we see that outside line work so well in this Formula Renault.
Yeah. That conservation momentum that you get on that outside line is really, really big at turn 1 and 2, it seems like. And the other thing that's nice as well is if you can hold that outside through the exit of turn 2, you then have the inside at the start of the exit for turn 3, which is where you really want to be. Which, granted, we haven't seen a side-by-side battle last quite that far into it yet. Someone generally backs out of it around the apex of turn 2. And actually, we have Jukka Salvanainen who spun. He was up ahead of this group. So this is going to put all these guys up a position or two at least. And actually, we got another car in the wall in Degner 2. It's Nick Thiessen. Nick Thiessen just spun coming through Degner 2. I believe he did the same thing Joe Guez did. Yeah, it was the exact same incident.
Yeah, so we mentioned how easy it is to do that in this car. And well, he avoided Jukka Savalainen and yeah, just tobogganed off, hit the bump, and into the wall he goes. So Nick Thiessen out of this race. This track, it holds no prisoners around here. And well, once again, we're seeing another car get affected by that bump and that curb. It's just unbelievable, but the one man who is finding it unbelievable, Freak Shotos at the front, 4 seconds ahead now. He's got a nice gap there, but Jukka Savalainen having that accident as well. Norbert Sulzer is making the move now around the outside of Usher, and well, makes that move before 130R. Usher runs wide through 130R, so Sulzer moving up a position. So Usher, he's still in 8th place after that spin from Jukka Savalainen.
Yeah, Usher is struggling a little bit for pace. We've seen him just kind of slowly get freight train and fall further and further back. That's definitely unfortunate. Looking back down through the field, just for any battles that are going on, we have a nice close race here between, what cars was that? That was Lionel Gamut and Thomas Schmidt that go into turn 1. Thomas Schmidt's going to take the inside line, although Lionel's not anywhere near close enough to get that pass done. Lionel also gets loose through turn 2, so he's not going to be anywhere near close enough to get this pass made. But this has just been a pretty attrition-filled race here thus far, Paul. It's almost seemed more like what you get in an endurance race rather than a 15-lap sprint.
Yeah, a lot of cars out so far. We've lost Simon Povey, Philip Leibert, Joel Guez, Nick Thiessen we've seen there as well. Mark Perez is a lap down but still running. David Williams has been in the pits as well, so he had some damage obviously to his car. Mark Usher is still the closest. Oh, we got another spinner, and that was, is that Sergio? Well, Sergio
yes,
has lost it, and so too has Thomas Schmidt. Thomas Schmidt has got damage to the rear of his car as well. He got into the back of Sergio there. So big incident into the second Degner. This Degner corner is catching a lot of people out, and certainly Thomas Schmidt getting caught up by the slower car of Sergio Marquez.
Yeah, this one wasn't the second Degner, it was the first Degner. Sergio going through Degner 1, we talked about taking that big bite of curb. He caught all that curb in turn 1, that got the car loose, or excuse me, in Degner 1, yeah, that got the car loose. He basically had to get the car stopped in order to get the back end in check, and unfortunately for Thomas, he had nowhere to go.
Mark Usher has had a spin as well, so out of Spoon Curve, he's, again, it's the curbs. He's gone wide over the curbs there, and the car just loses control. And Mark Usher not collecting anyone else, but yeah, big mistake there, getting over the curb, avoids the barrier, and keeps going. So Usher down to 11th place at the moment, and we've got the car 19, Lucas Gutsch. He is struggling as well. He's got Klaus Ellenbrand behind him. He's closing. In fact, no, Ellenbrand is ahead. Norbert Sulzer is behind now. So it's all happening, Randy, once again as we reach the halfway point.
Yeah, it certainly is, and this has just been a typical Suzuka race. People struggling for rear traction, and it's just, you know, the field is just slowly but surely getting shaken up more and more and more. And unfortunately, we're seeing some of these battles get strung out, but a battle that hasn't really gotten strung out, well, actually it has a little bit from when I last checked in on it, is Martin van Loosenhoort and Justin Brunner. They're about the closest battle we have of any of the front runners. But looking back out front, pretty much a 5-second gap that Freak Show has at this point. He is basically just checking out.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little mistake through the Casio triangle for Lucas Gotch that lost him that time in those positions. With the closest battle on the track at the moment, I would say, is Jürgen Frank and Thomas Schmidt. Well, Schmidt just falling back a little bit on this lap. He has got rear wing damage, has Thomas, so that'll be affecting his car. He runs wide over the exit of Degner 2, getting that curb, but not suffering the fate of so many cars in this race earlier on. And well, Thomas is trying his best to catch up to the back of Jürgen. Jürgen, who started at the back of the grid, is now 13th on the track, so Jürgen taking advantage of everyone else's misfortune.
Jürgen driving a very good recovery race here, did not have a very good qualifying session, and he really just doesn't have the pace this week, which is definitely unfortunate for him. But, you know, he's just driving smart. You know, watching him drive, he's not being overly aggressive on the curbs. He's keeping himself in it. And, you know, some of these quicker guys, they've, you know, maybe taken those risks, and suddenly they find themselves finishing lower down the order than someone they're a second or more quicker than.
Well, so we're past the halfway point. We've got 6 laps remaining. Frick Schotthorst is in the lead of the race by 4.9 seconds over Martin van Loosenhoort in second. Justin Brunner is slowly just being fallen off the back of van Loosenhoort these last couple of laps. He's in third place with Pete Berriman in fourth with that slight bit of damage to his front wing after that incident. Klaus Ellenbrand in a good fifth place for him with Lucas Gotch in sixth. Norbert Sulzer in seventh with John Allett in 8th place with Jukka Savalainen, who had that spin between Degners 1 and 2. He's down in 9th place. Leonard Game, of course, we saw have that issue as well with Simon Purvey. He is in 10th place at the moment. Mark Usher 11th, who's had also has issues. Sergio Macias in 12th place with Jürgen Frank 13th. Thomas Schmidt 14th, just following off the back of Jürgen there for the time being. He's been involved, he's been in the wars. Rocco Baron, though, the big name there, he is down in 15th place, still carrying on with that slightly damaged car, and he's certainly not had the lap times, that's for sure. In fact, he was a 2-minute 1 lap that last lap, so really struggling for pace is Rocco. And David Williams in 16th place, lost the lead lap runners with Matt Perez still running but a lap down in 17th place. And as I say, we have lost Nick Feast and Joel Goez, both victims of the second Degner curb on the exit. Philip Leibert and also Simon Purvey, who we saw have an incident at the Casio Triangle at the start. So this field's all spread out a little bit, but Lucas Gotch and Norbert Sulzer is the closest battle here, and we'll keep an eye on this one. This is for 6th place, Randy, as they head towards 130R.
Yeah, they come down on a 130R now, and this is their Norbert isn't quite close enough to get any of a draft to be able to make a run here in the Casio Triangle, but they are going to be very tight. And maybe here coming down on turn 1, they might be able to make a move. But as you were talking about the field getting strung out, you know, we have Coanda cars. This is something we don't say very often. Running as the last 2 running cars on the field. Hopefully, this isn't a sign of things to come for their iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series race tomorrow.
Yeah, don't forget you can catch that here on Racesport TV and iRacing Live from 1:30 GMT. It's going to be a good race from Silverstone tomorrow. You can catch Will, Rachel and Johnny for all the action there. But yeah, this battle here, 6th place, Lucas Gotch. He's just got to keep it straight. He was slower by a 10th of a second on that last lap to Norbert Sulzer. So Lucas, we saw being involved in a little incident himself. a little instant. It was quite a big instant, actually, thinking about it. He maybe has a little bit of damage to that car because he's maybe not quite on the pace, although saying that he's only 3/10 off of his fastest ultimate lap in this race.
Yeah, certainly. So it's definitely hard to say, and especially with the after that incident, as well as the way traffic's been working out. I think he's probably just right where he needs to be, and he's just pushing hard. And chances are these cars just drop off a little bit over the course of the event. I'm sure if you went through everyone, they'd be a little bit off their PB right now.
No, but Sulzer behind though. He is in 7th place, gained 1 position in this race so far. Of course, the biggest movers and shakers, well, you'd have to say Klaus Ellenbrand, 13th to 5th. Fantastic work from him. 19th to 8th for John Allett as well. 14th to 11th for Mark Usher. Sergio Macias 20th to 12th. So some good gains in this race. Allett, yeah, 11 positions for John Allett there. So great drive from him today, as we say, in that 8th place. As the head down here is 2.5 seconds behind this battle between Sulzer and Gotch for 6th place.
Yeah, it certainly has been. So hopefully that Sulzer can get himself into this just a little bit to make this a little bit more exciting here at the end. Do you think he's going to be able to catch him, Paul?
Well, we've got 4 laps remaining. The thing is, Gotch is actually catching up to Klaus Ellenbrand ahead. It's 0.3 of a second faster on that last lap, and he was actually 0.2 faster than Sulzer behind. So Gotch is actually the man who's trying to make the move up towards Ellenbrand, although as they come through the S's now, it's going to maybe lose a little bit of time through here, being affected by the dirty air of the car in front. And in fact, Norbert Sulzer closing up slightly as they go through the S's here. So different setups certainly taking effect here, but Gotch certainly trying his best to catch up to Klaus Ellenbrand ahead.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he just got very, very loose coming up on the Dunlop before the run to the Degner. So he's definitely, I think, has his car maybe a little bit more trimmed out than Norbert does, because like you said, Norbert did close up very, very nicely. Yeah, I was just going to say, Norbert bravely bearing the threat that is that curb. We've seen that fight, I believe, probably half a dozen cars now, that same curb. So definitely brave for him to keep doing that after so many cars just in front of him. Did I say that? John Allen just behind. He spins coming out of the hairpin, doesn't hit anything, but he's going to leave himself a couple positions.
Yeah, he was up into 8th place. He's down to 10th now is John. He's got Mark Usher catching up fast behind him. And, well, Usher, he'll be sniffing blood here in the water as he comes through 200R in towards Spoon. He's going to take the outside line through Spoon. Will that work? Usher giving room there. And, well, so does John Allett as well. Allett, a little bit of contact there. And Allett losing the back end. And we've seen it time and time again. You make one mistake in a lap and it just leads on to more and more mistakes as you go on. As now Sergio Macias has got a run now out of Spoon as they head towards 130R, but it's just a little bit too far back for the time being.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a mistake, if there might have been just a little bit of contact there from between Usher and Allett, because that was very, very close and definitely a very opportunistic move there by Usher, wanting to get that move done for the run down into 130R. Definitely good driving by all around though to get that done cleanly.
Norbert Sulzer is catching up now to the back of Lucas Gotch. He calls up 2/10 on that last lap, but 3 laps remaining, and it is still Freak Shotos who's just pulling away. It seems to be with this Formula Renault, if you can break that draft, then you can just pull away here. 5.9 seconds ahead of his nearest rival, Martin van Leusnoord. He was Mr. Friday Night Prime Time. He's not been having much luck of it recently in the last few weeks. Justin Brunner still in that 3rd place, now 1.7 seconds behind Martin, so not able to keep up with the pace of Martin van Leusnoord there. Pete Berryman and Klaus Ellenbrand all on the road. Klaus Ellenbrand has got Lucas Gotch trying to catch up to the back of him still, but Norbert Sulzer still trying to catch up to the back of Lucas as they go through the hairpin now to head towards the Spoon curve. Really, John Allett is that battle, and also the John Allett one as well. Mark Usher, they're the closest, although not really any pressure for the time being. So we'll keep an eye on things as we go along. But yeah, Norbert Sulzer 0.7 of a second as they go through that 130R corner.
Yeah, they certainly aren't. I definitely think the person to watch here is actually Klaus Ellenbrand, because he sees these guys in his mirror fighting really, really hard as they get ready to come through 130R for what will be to, getting ready to come across the start-finish line to get the 2 to go. He's going to be pushing really, really hard, and we've seen very simple mistakes here all day, all race long, really, really have big consequences. So watch for Klaus to be pushing hard. If he slips up just a little bit, Goetsch and Solzer, they'll be right on top of him.
Yeah, and we've seen time and time again also how people can take advantage of mistakes. And well, Lucas Goetsch has caught up a good 3/4 tenths, in fact 5 tenths of a second there on that last lap.
Solzer as well, yeah.
Yeah, Solzer is catch up to the back of Goetsch as well. So this is the closest battle on track for the time being. As we head through there, John Allett is battling away Mark Usher as well. They're side by side going in towards turn 1. And it's going to be John Allett around the outside. Will he be able to hold it through turn 1? Decides against it for the time being, does Allett. But Usher under intense pressure here. There's only, well, you can see how close the battle is. John Allett is right onto the gearbox of Mark Usher ahead of him. And well, that battle is going on through the S's now. And really, Allett trying his best to keep with him and trying to make the most of it, because Allett does seem to have a faster car.
Yeah, he certainly does. Allett just definitely seems a little bit quicker here. And, he definitely is going to want to get this move done, but he's going to have to do it bravely. We saw him think better about going through the outside of turn 1 and 2 there. However, that seems to be the prime passing opportunity.
Oh, Usher!
He does the same. Is that the 5th time now?
Well, it's certainly the 3rd car that's actually gone out because of that sort of incident. But yeah, the fifth, 6th car that we've seen do that on the exit of the 2nd Degner under intense pressure there and into the wall. That is a massive mistake to make for Mark Usher. It was running 10th, but not anymore. That's now John Allett.
Yeah, it certainly is, but however, as unfortunate that is for him, looking back to this Ellenbrand-Goetsch-Solzer battle, Goetsch has caught Ellenbrand here, and Solzer has actually fell back a little bit, so Solzer might be, he really has to push hard here as we come around, getting ready to go through the Casio triangle to get the 1 to go.
Yeah, well, the Freak Shotos is the man who is on the 1 to go. He's on the final lap here, but it's Lucas Goetsch and Norbert Sulzer and also Klaus Ellenbrand as well. They're battling away, and, well, Goetsch has the slipstream. Ellenbrand trying to break that slipstream. Goetsch not just quite getting close enough for the time being to make the move into turn 1, but certainly he'll be trying his best to keep it close through the S's here as, well, they go through that turn 1 and 2. Very important to get a good run out of there to take speed into the S's here, and it's all about carrying good maximum speed through the corners here. Trying to keep in that slipstream, trying not to have it affect his car too much as they now head through Dunlop Curve. Very difficult left-hander, it just keeps on going. It's a double apex corner as they head now towards the Degners. We've seen people having mistakes all the way through this race here, and, well, are we going to get another one? Goetsch onto the back of Ellenbrand. Ellenbrand keeping it well off the curbs, and he does right there, but Ellenbrand right up behind as they head towards the hairpin. Important to get your brake in right there. A little bit of a lock brake from Ellenbrand as they go through the hairpin, and now they're going to go through this long right-hander. It's almost a triple apex corner through here. They go through 230R as they head towards Spoon Corner, and Spoon is crucial for Goetsch and Ellenbrand because it's all about getting that exit into the long straight towards 130R. Goetsch trying to get that good run out of there. He's in the slipstream. This is where he's going to try and make it work as Frick Shotos is coming through the final chicane to win this race. Goetsch is right up behind the rear gearbox going through into 130R. He's going to look but not make the move, and Freak Shotos goes across the line to win this race. But we're going to just keep an eye on this battle into the Casio chicane. Goetsch not quite able to make the move into there. Ellenbrand, all he has to do is get the power on well at that final corner. They're going to come across the line here. It's going to be Ellenbrand who's going to finish 5th with Goetsch in 6th place. Good work there from both drivers. Really close action between the two as they go across the line. But special shout out to Freak Shotos. 2 weeks in a row now he has won, and great work from him then, Brandy.
Yeah, absolutely great driving by Freak, 2 weeks in a row, just like you said, and 2 times really that, he was running strong, but he was under pressure. However, the drivers that were pursuing him made mistakes, and he capitalized on it. Got himself a 6.5 second victory, which is, I believe, half the size of what he had last week at Silverstone. But absolutely fantastic driving from Freak, and Martin van Leeuwenhoek finally getting himself a good, strong finish here after, basically winning the first half of the season, and then basically been spiraled out of control on him the second half, and good to see him back finishing high on the order.
Absolutely, yes. I think that's everybody who has finished. Yeah, everybody is over the line. So we'll go through the results, and it's Freak Shottost, as we say, who wins that race 2 weeks in a row for Freak now on Friday night prime time. Matt van Leeuwenhoek 6.5 seconds behind in second place with Justin Brunner, a further 2 seconds behind in third. Pete Berryman, after that incident into turn 1, he's finished in fourth with Klaus Allenbrand, a good 5th place after starting in 13th place. Lucas Gotch in 6th place after that incident with Pete Berryman. Norbert Sulzer in 7th. Jukka Savalainen in 8th with Lionel Game 9th, and John Allett ran at the top 10 after starting 19th. Sergio Macias started 20th, finished 11th, so good work from him. Only just ahead of Jürgen Frank at the end there. Thomas Schmidt, in 13th place with Rocco Barone, we saw involved in that turn 1 incident, and he finishes in 14th place, only just finishing ahead of David Williams in 15th. Mark Usher, he classified as 16th, with Mark Perez 17th, Nick Thiessen 18th, Joel Guez in 19th, Philip Weber 20th, and Simon Povey in 21st place. And well, Randy, once again we have high drama with a leading battle. That's what, 3 weeks now? We had the Nürburgring with Govan Keeney and Matt van Leeuwenhoek. We had last week with Van Leeuwenhoek, Rocco Barone, and now this week Rocco Barone once again involved. This time with Pete Berryman and Lucas Gotch. Everyone's desperate to try and win these races. Unfortunately, we just have these little incidents.
Yeah, it's definitely just unfortunate that it keeps happening, because that was going to, it was looking like it was going to turn into a fantastic 4 or 5 way scrap for the win. And, those 3 guys that got a little over aggressive here early in this race, only 4 laps into a 15 lap race, going 3 wide into turn 1. And really, it took all 3 of them out of contention for the win.
And well, one man who was rubbing his hands with glee once again was Freak Shottost. He was in the lead, to be fair, when that incident happened. So that's not to say that he wouldn't have kept that lead, but it certainly made his life a little bit easier, and he was able to pull away in that one. So well done from him. But a special mention has to go to people like Klaus Allenbrand, John Allett, and also Sergio Macias, starting further down the order and able to get good results there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And these were guys who they didn't just sort of solo run their way while incidents were happening. They were racing their way to the front. We saw Klaus obviously involved in that scrap there on the last few laps of the race. So, and even then, driving patient, that can get you a lot of spots. If you look down at his finishing order, people like Sergio Macias, even though he had that incident, started 20th, finished 11th, so he can get himself up a lot of spots. Looking at next week though, Paul, we're going to Canada. Montreal should be a good week.
Yeah, it's the high-speed Monaco, it's effectively called, because it's a very tight confines to that. If you have an accident there, you're pretty much out the race, so it's going to be a big instance around there, but it certainly should be good in this Formula Renault round.
Yeah, it certainly should be, and I know that Montreal in general, for the Grand Prix fans of the world, that's generally the best race of the season for those guys. At least it generally is, and looking at the layout, it should be one of the more boring circuits, but it always generates good racing. It's always a lot of fun, and I'm excited. Do you think anyone's going to get themselves into the Wall of Champions?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's without a shadow of a doubt that somebody will get into there next week. Well, that was week 9 of Friday Prime Time here on Racespot TV and iRacing Live. Congratulations to Freak Shottost on 2 weeks in a row for the wins. And remember, tomorrow it's round 7 of the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. live from Silverstone with Will Vincent, Rachel Whiteford and Johnny Simon on Racespot TV and iRacing Live from 1:30 in the afternoon. And also, Sunday, it's the first round of a brand new endurance series as we have the iRacing VLN Endurance Championship from the historic Nürburgring Nordschleife. You can join myself and Randy along with a few of the other endurance guys here live on Racespot TV and iRacing Live from 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. So from myself, Paul Smith, from Randy Chenov and Hugo Lewis on the cameras, would like to say thank you to everyone who's been watching, and it's a goodbye from everyone here at Racespot TV and iRacing Live. Good night.